how squats completely heal and transform the human body, and why you should do them regardless of your current age. You have probably noticed how our body begins to protest as the years go by: back pain that appears out of nowhere, legs that feel like lead when climbing stairs, and that feeling that movements that were once simple now require considerable effort. It's as if we were losing the battle against time. When this happens, we need to take action to reverse many of these problems. Unlike what many people think, you don't need an expensive gym, sophisticated equipment, a personal trainer, or hours of dedication. Yes, I'm talking about squats, one of the most natural and powerful movements of the human body. Even so, most people completely ignore this exercise. That's why today, you will see exactly the 6 main reasons why you should be performing this simple movement, regardless of your current age. Stay attentive until the end, because benefit number 3 is the best of them. Benefit 6: posture correction and back pain relief. Did you know that some studies have already proven that more than 80% of people will suffer from back pain at some point in life? It's a truly alarming number. And the worst part, a large portion of these pains are directly related to postural problems. It's no secret that modern life, where we spend hours sitting in front of computers and smartphones, condemns us to a posture that our body was not designed to support. Over time, this poor posture leads to muscle imbalance. The muscles in the front of the hip become shortened while the glutes and hamstrings weaken. The result: an anterior pelvic tilt that overloads the lumbar spine. This is where squats come in. When performing this movement correctly, you strengthen precisely the muscles that combat this imbalance. The glutes, which are the largest muscles in the human body, are intensely activated during squats. When strong, they help keep the pelvis in a neutral position, relieving pressure on the lumbar spine. Additionally, squats strengthen the deep stabilizing muscles of the spine known as multifidus. These small muscles are fundamental for keeping the spine in a safe position during everyday movements. A study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science demonstrated that individuals with chronic lumbar pain who incorporated squats into their routine for 12 weeks had a significant reduction in pain and improved function. Squats also work on the mobility of the thoracic spine, that middle region of the back that tends to become rigid with sedentary lifestyle. When you descend in a squat while keeping your chest raised, you are combating thoracic kyphosis, that exaggerated curvature that forms the hunchback posture. Over time, this improvement in mobility translates into a more erect and elegant posture, even when you're not paying attention. Another benefit is for those who suffer from sciatica or sciatic nerve pain. By strengthening the hip muscles and improving their mobility, compression on this important nerve is reduced. Many people report significant improvement after a few weeks of regular practice. Benefit 5: metabolism and hormones. If you still think that weight loss exercises boil down to cardio and treadmill, forget that idea. Squats are a true metabolic powerhouse within your body. Why? Because they are simply capable of simultaneously recruiting the largest muscle groups in the body: quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, core, and even back and shoulder muscles for stabilization. When you work all these muscles at once, the caloric expenditure is obviously impressive. To give you a better notion, a Harvard University study showed that an intense 20-minute session of squats can burn between 250 to 450 calories depending on your weight and exercise intensity. But when we talk about squats and caloric expenditure, the true secret lies in what happens after you finish your workout. Squats trigger a phenomenon called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, also popularly known as afterburn. This means that your body continues burning calories at an accelerated rate even hours after exercise, while recovering muscle tissues and replenishing energy stores. Research indicates that this effect can last up to 48 hours after an intense strength training session. Even more impressive is the hormonal impact of squats. Because it's a high-intensity multi-joint exercise, it causes a significant increase in the production of testosterone and growth hormone named GH. Testosterone, present in men and women albeit in different amounts, is essential for muscle growth, fat burning, and even cognitive and emotional health. GH, on the other hand, is known as the youth hormone, as it stimulates cell regeneration, fat metabolism, and bone health. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology demonstrated that men who performed 6 sets of loaded squats showed an increase of up to 400% in GH levels with sustained elevation for more than 1 hour after exercise. This natural hormonal stimulus is like giving a boost to your metabolism, facilitating both muscle mass gain and reduction of body fat percentage. Squats also play a fundamental role in blood glucose control. When you perform this exercise, the large muscles in the legs consume glucose, rapidly removing sugar from the bloodstream. With regular practice, insulin sensitivity improves significantly, which means your body needs to produce less insulin to process the same amount of carbohydrates. This is one of the reasons why strength training, especially with squats, is now recommended for prevention and even complementary treatment of type 2 diabetes. Benefit 4. Digestion and blood circulation. I know you might be thinking now, what the heck do squats have to do with digestive health? But believe me, the connection is surprisingly strong. When we perform a squat, intra-abdominal pressure increases and then decreases rhythmically. This movement acts as a kind of internal massage for the digestive organs, stimulating peristalsis, the muscle contractions that move food along the digestive tract. People with chronic constipation problems frequently report significant improvement after incorporating squats into their daily routine. This happens because the movement strengthens the pelvic floor and abdominal muscles, facilitating natural bowel movement. In fact, in many cultures where people regularly squat to perform daily tasks or as a resting position, problems such as constipation and hemorrhoids are significantly less common. The diaphragm, the main muscle responsible for breathing, is also stimulated during squats. When you breathe deeply while maintaining the squatting position, you are creating a true massage exercise for the liver, stomach, and other abdominal organs. This natural massage helps improve the production of digestive enzymes and nutrient absorption. As for blood circulation, squats act as a true pump for the cardiovascular system. When you descend in the movement, there is a temporary compression of the vessels in the legs. And when you rise, this pressure is released, creating a pumping effect of blood back to the heart. This mechanism is so efficient that squats are frequently recommended for people with mild circulatory problems such as swollen legs or early-stage varicose veins. And remember, with more efficient blood flow, nutrients reach cells more quickly while toxins are removed more efficiently. The result is an improvement in overall energy, muscle recovery, and even cognitive function, since the brain also benefits from increased blood flow. Another little discussed aspect is the impact on lymphatic circulation. The lymphatic system, responsible for an important part of our immune system, does not have its own pump like the heart. It depends on muscle movement to make lymph flow through the body. Squats, by activating large muscle groups, are extremely efficient in stimulating this flow, contributing to a more active and efficient immune system. Benefit 3. Bone and joint health. As we age, our bones naturally begin to lose density, a process that can lead to osteopenia, and in more severe cases, osteoporosis. These conditions make bones fragile and susceptible to fractures even with minimal impact. From the age of 30, we begin to gradually lose bone mass, but after 50, especially in women after menopause, this loss can accelerate drastically due to reduced estrogen levels. As a weight-bearing exercise, squats stimulate the process known as bone remodeling. When bones are subjected to mechanical stress during squats, they respond by becoming denser and stronger. This is a fascinating example of how our body adapts to the demands we impose on it. Studies show that postmenopausal women who practice weight-bearing exercises like squats 3 times a week show a significant increase in bone mineral density, mainly in the hip and spine, precisely the locations most vulnerable to fractures. A review published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research demonstrated that strength training can reduce the risk of osteoporosis-related fractures by up to 40%. But it's not just the bones that benefit. Joints, often neglected until they start to hurt, gain a new life with regular squat practice. Contrary to the popular myth that squats wear out the knees, research shows that when executed correctly, they actually protect and strengthen the joints. The squatting movement stimulates the production of synovial fluid, a viscous substance that lubricates the joints and nourishes the cartilage. Cartilage, unlike other tissues, does not have its own blood supply. It absorbs nutrients through this fluid. Without regular movement, cartilage deteriorates more quickly, potentially leading to problems such as osteoarthritis. Additionally, squats strengthen the muscles around the joints, creating a natural support system that reduces impact during daily activities. For example, strong knees are less prone to injuries during simple activities such as climbing stairs or getting up from a chair. Recent research also suggests that the controlled mechanical stress provided by squats can stimulate collagen production in tendons and ligaments, making them more resistant and less prone to injuries with aging. Benefit 2. Injury prevention and improved coordination. Think about it. How many times do you bend down to pick something up from the floor, lift a heavy object, or simply sit down and get up from a chair? All these movements are essentially variations of the squat. When you regularly train the squatting movement pattern, you are developing a neuromuscular memory that your body will automatically use in daily activities. The result: more efficient, safer movements with less risk of injury. The ligaments and tendons. Structures that connect muscles to bones and bones to each other are uniquely strengthened during squats. Unlike muscles which respond quickly to training, ligaments and tendons adapt more slowly but more durably with regular practice. These structures become more resistant and elastic, creating a natural armor against sprains and ruptures. Squats also promote something called proprioception, which means they improve the body's ability to perceive its position in space without needing vision. This skill is crucial for balance and for avoiding falls, especially at more advanced ages. Studies show that elderly people with better proprioception have up to 50% less chance of suffering serious falls. During squats, your body needs to coordinate dozens of muscles simultaneously to maintain balance and execute the movement efficiently. This complex neuromuscular recruitment works as training for your brain, improving the connections between the central nervous system and the muscles. Over time, this improvement in neuromuscular communication translates into more precise movements and faster reactions in unexpected situations. Strengthening the lateral hip stabilizers such as the gluteus medius is particularly important for preventing knee injuries. Many anterior cruciate ligament injuries occur due to weakness in these muscles, which allows excessive internal rotation of the knee during dynamic movements. Squats, especially variations such as sumo squats or with feet in different positions, strengthen these stabilizers, protecting against one of the most common and devastating types of sports injury. For athletes, the benefits are even more pronounced. A study conducted with college football players showed that those who incorporated deep squats into their training had 45% fewer knee injuries and 30% fewer lumbar region injuries during the season compared to athletes who did not perform the exercise. Benefit 1: muscle strengthening and pain prevention. In a single movement, you activate more than 200 muscles in the body. This comprehensive muscle strengthening has a direct impact on the prevention of chronic pain. Many pains that we attribute to aging are in fact the result of muscle imbalances and weakness in specific muscle groups. For example, knee pain when climbing stairs is often related to weakness in the vastus medialis oblique, a part of the quadriceps that is intensely activated during squats. A fascinating aspect is how squats strengthen muscles that we rarely use in modern daily life. We spend a lot of time sitting and rarely squat completely. As a result, muscles such as the deep glutes and hamstrings weaken and switch off, failing to do their job when needed. The result: other muscles compensate, working in overload and generating pain. Strengthening the glutes in particular has a cascade effect on pain prevention. Strong glutes stabilize the pelvis during walking and running, reducing stress on the knees, hips, and lumbar spine. It's no coincidence that lumbar and knee pain frequently improve when the patient properly strengthens the glutes through squats. For people with jobs that require long periods of standing, such as teachers, nurses, and salespeople, the strengthening provided by squats significantly reduces muscle fatigue and leg pain at the end of the day. This happens because stronger muscles can support body weight for longer without entering fatigue. Now that we understand the numerous benefits of squats, let's learn how to execute them correctly to maximize results and minimize risks. Proper technique is essential for you to reap all the benefits we mentioned without putting excessive stress on the joints. Start by positioning your feet shoulder width apart or slightly wider with the toes slightly turned outward. Before starting the downward movement, activate your central musculature as if you were preparing to receive a punch in the stomach. Keep your chest raised and your spine in a neutral position, neither excessively arched nor rounded. A common mistake is to look down, which tends to curve the cervical spine and compromise alignment. When initiating the descent, imagine that you are sitting in a chair. The movement should start from the hips, not the knees. Send the hips backward first, as if you were trying to touch a wall behind you with your buttocks. As the hips move backward, the knees will naturally begin to bend. During the descent, your knees should follow the same direction that your feet are pointing, avoiding collapsing inward or opening excessively outward. A common mistake is to let the knees advance too far in front of the toes, which increases pressure on the patellofemoral joint. As for depth, ideally descend until your thighs are parallel to the ground or even slightly below, as long as you can maintain a neutral spine and keep your heels on the ground. However, if you are a beginner or have mobility limitations, start with partial squats and gradually increase the amplitude as your mobility and strength improve. On the way up, drive through the heels, consciously activating the glutes. A common mistake is to shift the weight to the toes during the ascent, which overloads the knees and underutilizes the glutes. Imagine that you are pushing the ground away from you rather than just lifting the body. As for frequency and volume for beginners, I recommend starting with 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a week. As you advance, you can increase to 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions if you like this. And in addition to squats, you also want to learn 6 isometric positions that will change your entire lower body. We have a video appearing right now on the screen, showing and explaining each one of them. Be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my